So our table saw table has gotten rusted again by a water leak. I'm going to show you how I clean this off and protect it. We'll be using some paste wax, navel jelly, a couple of horsehair brushes, an old t-shirt, and rubber gloves. Don't forget the rubber gloves. Start with the old t-shirt. Just wipe all the loose dust off and any loose surface rust. We're going to use our navel jelly, and you don't have to be horribly concerned about how much you're putting on. You just want to give it a good coat. And this time I'm going to do the whole table rather than just a piece of it like I did last time. Take your blade guard out because it will take paint off like you can't believe. Also a good time to clean any loose sawdust off. It gives off a wonderful aroma of oxidizing cast iron, which is kind of one of the things it's doing. Navel jelly by itself will clean off rust and leave a protective coating over it to help prevent rust to some degree. But we're going to wax this afterwards to give us a nice smooth tabletop. Now that we have our table saw liberally coated, and now my phone is liberally coated in navel jelly as well, we're going to let it sit a few minutes, let it do its thing, then we're going to come back and clean it, and I'm going to take the opportunity to clean my phone. Okay, this has been on long enough. We've seen a little bit of a color change. You'll notice some areas have turned a little more milky white and have kind of bubbled a little bit. What we're going to start with doing is just wiping it off with a t-shirt. And you'll notice in most of these areas the rust is rubbing right off. Some areas might need a little bit more elbow grease. For those areas, steel wool is the appropriate answer. You can also reapply. Like this area down here, I'm probably just going to go ahead and reapply. But we don't want to leave it on areas too long because it will eventually etch the metal. Alright, so we're going to wipe everything down, get all of that navel jelly off. That way it stops reacting. And we're just using a damp cloth for this to get all of that off. Now, of course, the weird thing is, we got water on the table so it rusted. We've removed all that rust. We just put water back on the table. That doesn't make much sense. Well, obviously we have to dry it. So we're going to use another cloth, dry everything off. Alright, for this we're just going to use some Johnson paste wax. We're going to get a decent amount on there. And we're just going to apply it in a circular motion, just like you would if you were waxing your car. And well, if you've never had the pleasure or pain of waxing your car, well, you poor bastard. Alright, we've covered our tabletop with a layer of wax. We're going to let it set up and haze over, and then we're going to buff it off. Alright, nice and hazy. Now we're gonna buff this off. And again, just like you do your car, just keep buffing it off until it's nice and smooth. It'll probably take you a few minutes, especially the first time. Okay, a few minutes, probably 15 minutes or so. So, catch you in a minute. Alright, so We're just about finished up here. You'll still notice some swirling that was done by the navel jelly. It does do some discoloration to the metal just because of the chemical reaction that it has. You'll also notice my buffing cloth getting caught in the teeth of the table saw blade. But the drier you keep your table saw, the less you have to do that. It's always great to wax it every once in a while because it really does help the cutting motion. In fact, almost like an air hockey table. Now, you noticed I was always wearing my gloves. That navel jelly can be really rough on your hands, so remember to always wear your gloves when you're using caustic chemicals. Thank you, have a nice day, and remember, make something great and clean up your crap.